Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine a legendary figure, his voice still echoing decades after he left us, an artist who constantly pondered the idea of heaven, spirituality,
Mm,
even while living the raw realities of thug life.
right.
What if that artist embarked on this profound fictional journey into the afterlife, forced to confront his past, his choices, and ultimately kind of search for answers?
It's a really compelling premise, isn't it? And what's so striking here is how the themes Tupac Shakur explored in his music, poverty, racial injustice, spirituality, and that whole iconic idea of a thug's mansion, they're not just recounted.
Right.
They're given this deeply imaginative, sort of allegorical exploration. It offers a unique lens, a thought-provoking way to consider the questions he wrestled with.
Absolutely. So today we're diving deep into a fascinating source, All Eyes on Me book, Tupac After Death Series 1. It's by Jomo Kenyatta. And it's important to stress this isn't a biography.
No, definitely fiction.
Yeah. It's fiction that courageously delves into these very questions. We might, briefly touch on things like that hologram legacy, just as a reminder of his impact.
His cultural staying power, yeah.
Exactly. But Kenyatta's book, it takes us somewhere else entirely, into this spiritual, almost fantastical realm.
And our mission here with this deep dive is basically to guide you through this fictional narrative. We want to extract the surprising parallels the author draws between Tupac's thug life philosophy and concepts from Christian theology. We'll follow this fictionalized Tupac, he's called Amaru in the book.
Right, Amara.
Through this afterlife experience, it's intense self-confrontation, spiritual expansion. It's definitely a journey designed to make you think.
It's interesting because for all the raw street-level honesty in Tupac's music, it wasn't just about the streets, was it?
Not at all.
He kept coming back to heaven, spirituality, driven by his own life, poverty, persecution, racial injustice. He really wrestled with whether there was true rest from a world he saw as just filled with sorrow. He was exploring both the physical struggles and this, profound spiritual longing. He saw his music as relevant, confrontational, but also, at its core, spiritual.
And that spiritual core is precisely what the book grabs onto. It dives right into his thug life philosophy. You know the acronym THUGLIFE?
The hate you give little infants, FS, everyone.
Exactly. And this concept, it's rooted in victimology, the idea that the more people are oppressed, violated, made to suffer, the greater the likelihood they'll cause suffering in return. It creates this vicious, kind of inescapable cycle of crime and pain. Tupac really felt that injustice, especially historical injustice against the poor, directly fueled this.
Okay, and this is where Kenyatta's book makes a really powerful, kind of unexpected connection. It draws this stark parallel, or maybe contrast, to Christ's victimology. So unlike thug life, where hate just tragically breeds more hate,
Right.
the authors suggest that Christ suffering him, being the true infant that was hated, actually transformed that hate.
Okay.
His sacrifice, in Kenyatta's interpretation anyway, becomes this profound blessing for those who accept him. Like, he became the ultimate victim, so his followers could become victors even while they're suffering. It's a pretty bold reframing.
That is, yeah. And it naturally leads you to ask, can these two philosophies, one from the streets, one from ancient theology, can they really converge in a meaningful way? And the author, Jomo Kenyatta, he brings this unique perspective, right? He holds a master's of divinity.
Which is key here.
It is. But he approaches it not like a theologian trying to convert you or validate dogma. It's presented as this deeply imaginative fiction. His hope seems to be inspiring readers, illustrating that maybe, just maybe, there is a heaven for a gangsta.
The thug's mansion.
Yeah, a spiritual thug's mansion. The insight seems to be that spiritual truth, in this fictional world at least, isn't just confined to the usual pathways.
So our deep dive into Amaru's journey, it starts pretty dramatically. It fictionalizes Tupac's last moments. He's been in the hospital, 6 agonizing days, life support, lung removed, organs severely damaged. Doctors are trying everything.
Desperate measures.
Yeah, even shocking him with 700 volts. But his mother, Affinity Shakur, makes that incredible hard decision. Let him die in peace. She didn't want his last moments to be more violence, even medical violence. Just a peaceful release.
And as his spirit rises from his body, the book captures that universal fear, doesn't it? The terror of the unknown.
Totally.
Amaru's adrift, clinging to that childhood prayer his grandmother taught him. If I should die before I wake, please God walk with me, take me to heaven. He'd faced death before, but this fear, this absolute uncertainty, it's different.
And then this really poignant moment. His first guide appears.
Latasha Harlins.
Latasha Harlins, yeah.
Uh.
For those who might not remember, the 15-year-old girl killed in '91 by that store owner in L.A., it sparked huge conversations about racism, violence against Black people.
And for Tupac, who dealt with racial profiling, police brutality, her story was deeply personal.
Right. The book paints her as this angelic figure, immaculate white gown. Her presence just brings this instant reverence.
And what's really striking in that encounter is how Amaru sees her and himself. He notices his tattoos are gone, the thug life, the Nefertiti.
All gone from his spiritual body.
Right, but the bullet wounds, they're still there, raw, visible.
Yeah.
But then Latasha turns and he sees her unhealed gunshot wound at the back of her head. And his spirit just collapses in grief. It's like he's feeling this shared communal pain. Her suffering becomes his.
It's a huge moment, a real aha for Amaru.
Definitely. And this first encounter really gives you this insight. The wounds we carry, physical, spiritual, they're part of the journey. But maybe transformation starts when we confront that shared pain.
And Latasha addresses him then, but not as Tupac.
As Amaru, his middle name.
Amaru, which she reveals means sacred serpent. And she reminds him of his mother's words, remember, that his venomous words, his fiery lyrics, they could incite, sure, but they also held power, power to heal, to speak truth.
Mm-hmm.
And her question to him is just profound in its simplicity. Just as life brings death, it is in death that life is found. Do you believe this?
Mm-hmm.
It's a challenge, right? Find healing, find purpose, and the very thing you fear. Draw on your own past growth through suffering.
And Amaru says yes, he believes. Latasha offers this quiet prayer, and then his spirit just shoots upwards, leaving Earth behind. And that one thought echoes, only God can judge me.
Yeah, a real shift from earthly judgment to something else.
A divine reckoning, maybe.
So Amaru finds himself in this surreal place, this astral plane, beyond physical understanding. And he's facing this intimidating structure of steps. It's described as a tesseract.
Like a multidimensional cube thing, mind-bending.
Exactly. Symbolizing this complex, non-linear journey ahead. The first step is small, but the others are huge. Stories high, reaching up to this luminous fluorescent light door. And he's thinking, how can I possibly climb these?
Which leads to the natural question.
Yeah.
What is actually happening here? What is this?
Right.
And Latasha, his guy, she explains it. It's a process of soul expansion, a kind of temporal emptying of sin.
Temporal. Okay.
Yeah. And it's presented as essential because, well, traditional theology often holds that no sinful soul can withstand God's sheer holiness, right? That radiance.
Yeah.
She explains that sin diminishes us and makes us small, but God created us to be giants in the image of their Father.
So the expansion isn't just purification.
No, it's about regaining your true intended stature so you can fully comprehend and stand before the divine. The core insight seems to be that real spiritual growth means shedding whatever makes you small.
Okay, so the first step on this tesseract, it's brutal, confrontation with sensual passions. Amaru's flooded with these graphic images. Every sexual encounter, from teenage years to drug-fueled orgies, he even recalls his sexual assault accuser grappling with the fact that he didn't intervene, didn't stop it.
Wow.
And then the story takes this really harrowing turn. The faces of the women in these memories, they start to shift. They morph into Latasha's face.
That's intense.
He screams. He realizes his lust, his perversion. It wasn't just with Black women, but in this spiritual reckoning, it was against them, contributing, in his mind, to a genocide of his people through his actions and their impact.
That is a profoundly shocking, transformative aha moment for him.
Totally.
And as he weeps, just utterly remorseful, his soul starts to expand. He physically grows taller while Latasha shrinks down beside him like a child. It's this vivid picture of how confronting sin, really owning it, leads to growth. And her final words to him, not spoken, but felt spiritually resonated. You are loved, Amaru. I ain't mad at ya. Even in that pain, there's grace. Before she disappears, it really highlights how accountability and maybe self-forgiveness are linked.
So Latasha's gone. He's had this first soul expansion. What happens next? What does it mean for the rest of the journey?
Well, he has to keep climbing. He continues through the other steps, and each one confronts a different aspect of his life, like his own personal 7 deadly sins, kind of tailored to him.
Okay, like what?
First up is sloth, but it's not just laziness. It's about his procrastination in seeking God. neglecting spiritual growth, even in prison, actively avoiding church events, that spiritual apathy that held him back.
Right, makes sense. Then
Comes anger, and the book is careful here. It's not his justified anger against injustice that's acknowledged as righteous.
okay.
This is the destructive, vitriolic anger towards personal rivals, Biggie, the Hughes brothers, Orlando Anderson, that kind of anger that just eats you up inside.
Got it. What's next? Envy.
Yep, envy. The narrative shows his childhood desire for wealth, not just comfort, but status, leading to things like snatching the mite at the '94 Source Awards. That raw need to be on top, wanting what others had.
I remember that. Okay. After envy.
Greed. This is pointed to as a major factor in his downfall, specifically taking that death row deal for millions.
Right.
The book suggests this shifted his music from being deeply conscious, socially aware, to more materialistic, more violent, a trade-off, essentially, for earthly gain.
And the last one.
The big one.
Pride. This is the most formidable step. Amaru is just overwhelmed by these deafening echoes from his music. I am. All his boasts, his self-centered claims, playing back at him. It reveals this deep-seated arrogance that really fueled his public image.
Wow. So how does that end?
It culminates pretty dramatically. His pride is so intense, the Tesseract stairs start to quake violently. The luminous door above just ascends rapidly away from him.
Yeah. And he hears this thunderous, omnipresent voice declare, I am. And Amalu starts to fall. He tumbles down the steps, getting smaller with each one he hits.
Ouch.
It's this physical manifestation of that lesson, pride goes before a fall. But then there's a twist of spiritual logic. The way up is the way down. As he falls, the whole astral plane rotates. His fall becomes his rising. And it leads him, unconscious but transformed, through that fluorescent door to the pathway.
The pathway. Okay, what is that?
The deeper insight there seems to be about humility, right? It's not just not being proud, it's an active surrender that paradoxically lifts you up.
So he arrives on the pathway.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like?
He wakes up to the sound of children talking. He's in this breathtaking field like Eden, the pathway. He feels lighter, clearer, no anxiety. Total contrast to the terror before.
And the children?
3 kids greet him, Malachi, Sarah, and Seth. They're innocent, pure, and they know exactly who he is. They even recite his lyrics from Unconditional Love.
Really?
Yeah. And Sarah says something intriguing. I knew it before you wrote it.
What does that mean?
Well, Malachi quickly emerges as the next guide, and he starts clarifying some big spiritual truths. He explains Jesus is the one king, but known by many names on earth, Allah, Buddha, emphasizing this universal spiritual truth.
Interesting.
And he reveals that he and Latasha, too, they're true believers, glorified after death, so they can do things regular humans can't. The insight seems to be that enlightenment in this story goes beyond earthly religious boxes.
Amaru has another realization there.
A big one. Malachi opens his spiritual eyes. Suddenly, Amaru sees thousands, countless departed souls filling the pathway as far as he can see.
Oh.
All races, all ages, but none look older than maybe 35. And each soul has an unseen guide beside them. It gives Amaru this feeling that you are not alone. He even thinks he glimpses his friend Gaddafi. It's this profound sense of connection.
But why children as guides? That seems significant.
It is. And Malachi addresses Amaru's sadness about children dying, about aborted babies. He gives this powerful message of hope. Death is not the end. He says, the Lion from the tribe of Judah, that's a biblical title for Jesus, right? Strength, kingship, defeated death. That is the reason I am here. It offers Amaru and us this deep sense of purpose, hope beyond earth, suggesting even the seemingly lost find eternal meaning.
So the journey continues. Where to next?
To a mountain. An absolutely massive, awe-inspiring mountain, phenomenal structure, trees on one side, stark granite rock on the other, a truly formidable obstacle.
And Malachi tells him.
The challenge isn't just to cross it, it's to move it.
Move the mountain? How?
Well, what's fascinating is Malachi's explanation. He says Amaru has actually been moving mountains your whole life.
How so?
He reminds him of his past wins, buying his mother a home against the odds, overcoming jail, slander. Malachi says, you saw a mountain, your mother in poverty, and you spoke a word, your music, and the mountain was moved.
Ah, okay. But
then Malachi reveals the true mountain, the one Amaru has to confront now. It's Amaru himself.
Himself?
Yeah. His craving for power, lust, money, revenge, those are the internal mountains.
That hits hard, I bet.
Absolutely. Amaru realizes he's lived faithless, never truly knowing God. That's why he couldn't move this mountain. He gets it. If he knew God with the same certainty he knew his own mother, he wouldn't be afraid, wouldn't feel incapable.
So what changes?
Malachi gives him a mustard seed of faith, but emphasizes it's the object of your faith that makes faith powerful.
The object of faith.
Exactly. Amaru gets it. He put his faith in flawed earthly things, so his faith was flawed, insufficient. The insight is clear. What you put your faith in determines its real power.
So with this new faith,
Focusing on God, not the obstacle. Amaru wills the mountain to move, and it does.
seriously.
Yeah, this massive thing just starts to float miraculously in the air on a white cloud, moves aside majestically. Amaru rushes past, doesn't want to be left behind.
And on the other side.
He finds Malachi, Sarah, and Seth. They're dancing around this simple bronze throne in a huge open field.
A simple throne, after all that majesty.
Yeah, Amaru questions it too. Is this humble relic really the throne of God, given everything else he's seen? But then the children sit on it. Light from 3 brilliant stars shines down on them. Thousands of souls gather around, bowing, chanting together, Yeshua, Messiah, Adonai.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Powerful, unified declaration. And then the children, they transform right before Amaru's eyes into something monstrous, something majestic.
Yeah.
The book uses both words. He's compelled to witness their glorious ultimate form. He can't look away. He has to take in their overwhelming fullness. It's this direct, unfiltered experience of the divine that just leaves him utterly humbled, transcends understanding.
Wow. Okay. So let's try and wrap our heads around this. What does this all mean for us listening to this?
Well, this deep dive into Kenyatta's book, it's this incredibly rich, provocative exploration, isn't it, of Tupac's legacy, blending his personal struggles with these huge spiritual questions, sin, redemption, the nature of God. It really challenges conventional thinking about spirituality.
It does.
And this narrative, it invites you, the listener, to think about your own journey, not just Amaru's, that idea that the true mountain is yourself.
Yeah, that's powerful.
That our deepest challenges, the obstacles to our own growth, they lie within us. And that our actions, even small ones, they have consequences, they affect others. The book brings that to life so vividly.
So, as you reflect on this journey we've unpacked, maybe we could leave you with this provocative thought. If the true mountain is yourself, what mountain are you being called to move in your own life right now? And, crucially, what object of faith will empower you to actually move it? If you're intrigued and want to explore this further, the book again is All Eyes on Me, book Tupac After Death, Series 1 by Jomo Kenyatta. It's available at ggispublishing.org, Machiavelli.
ggispublishing.org, Machiavelli.
And you can also share your thoughts, leave a social media review, tag at Church Forth Hugs, or find the Jomo Kenyatta Facebook page.